أهلا وسهلا فيكم في مدرب بودكاست. Our guest today is one of the most prominent experts in Jiu-Jitsu and mixed martial arts in Jordan and in the Arab world. He holds a 6th Dan degree in Jiu-Jitsu, making him the first person in Jordan and the region to achieve this rank. He has won the World Master Championship 6 times and has contributed to training over 2,000 individuals. He is the founder of the Mat Zero 5 Club, which has won numerous championships. He also contributes a charitable work by training individuals in associations and schools, including in Palestine. In 2025, he was awarded the highest sport honor by the Brazilian president. Hello, Coach Sami الجمل.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, alhamdulillah. We are so happy to have you here.
I'm very excited to be here.
You are the first coach to interview and the first person who's going to talk in a Mudrib podcast about martial arts. And I'm so excited about it because I feel like there's something different from teaching any other sport than the martial arts itself.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yeah.
It's different.
Yeah, I think other sports, it's something like you're playing a checkers game.
Okay.
Martial arts is more like a chess game.
Okay.
So, and not in the sense that is more difficult or less difficult, but you're testing yourself as a human against another human that wants the same thing, and you have to perfect it. And
Okay.
the name says martial arts, so martial. So it comes from military.
Okay.
So at the time that you had to do martial arts and be perfect on it, your life depended on it. So other sports, they're amazing and very challenging, and maybe more challenging even than martial arts, but very few of them
Yeah.
defy death.
That's so deep and powerful, actually.
That's the truth.
That's the truth.
That's the truth.
So if you believe in these things and the martial arts is different, let's say it's different in a good way than the other sports because it's your life depends on it, as we
Yes.
said, you know. I read somewhere, this is how I wanted to start actually. I read
Yes.
somewhere, and this is interests me, that martial arts represent the anger that every human being have in himself. So if he go and he take it out on the mat through rules, it's better than to take his anger in the street with no rules. Is that right? I heard that from a martial art coach.
Yes and no.
Yes, okay.
Yes and no.
Yeah.
And we as humans, we've been fighting since we know that we're humans.
Yes.
We've been fighting for food, we've been fighting for land, we've been fighting for everything, because that was the basic nature before you created society. And in society,
Yeah.
you also fight, but without using your fists. You fight on the court, you fight in the car, you fight in the businesses.
Yeah.
But martial arts is the essence, the basics of fighting. So
Okay.
fighting is part of martial arts.
Okay.
And the people that fight in the street and they get their anger out in the street are the people that are not confident.
Okay.
Because martial artists,
Yeah.
they train every day to understand that they don't need to fight.
Exactly.
Whereas other people, that when they have anger and they go to their basic instincts of fighting, without even knowing they're fighting, sometimes they fight, they hurt each other, they don't
Yeah.
know why. Or they بيسلموا مع بعض, right after they hit each other.
Yeah.
So using martial arts is knowing that you don't need to fight. It's not only the energy. The energy is great. The relief, the stress is amazing. But the reality is that they understand that how dangerous it can be for them to fight, and they don't need to fight.
It's amazing concept actually, that if you know that you're strong and you are capable to fight as a martial artist, as you said, there is no need to prove it outside of the cage or outside of the mat, so you are confident in your strength.
Yeah.
But if you fight in the street, yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah. Or then you have the case with kids bullying.
Yeah,
The kid will never bully a strong kid. He
exactly.
has to bully a weak kid.
Yeah,
So, okay, what's the reason of being a bully if you can only bully the weak? You go bully a strong kid.
yeah,
And then you see, like, for example, I see when the kids come to the gym, first 3 months, they're like this,
yeah,
shy,
Yeah.
you know? After 1 year, they're walking like this.
yeah, distraught.
And then I go to them, did you guys get into a fight in school? No. Are you being bullied? They say, no. So why? Everybody knows, coach, that I do jiu-jitsu.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
So it's...
So this is a good start for the coaches that, especially in martial arts and in other fields of sports, to know that sports helps you not only in the court or on the mat or on the cage, helps you as a human and your trainee, either they are kids or grown up, outside more than inside. As we
Yes.
said now, it helps like anti-bully,
Yes.
you know?
Yeah, it's martial arts is for life.
Yeah.
I always say that the philosophy of martial arts is for life.
Yeah.
And I use all the philosophies of martial arts in the books, for example, the Bushido, which is the book of the warrior, the way of the warrior. It explains how you have to
Yeah.
deal with your family, with business,
Yeah.
with people, with fighting.
Yeah.
You know, the art of war of Sun Tzu.
Yeah, you know,
Explains to you how you have to deal with your whole life through war.
through war. Yeah. Let's start with like your career, because usually, as a coach, if I remember myself back at university, 15 or 16 years back, sitting on the desk trying to imagine my future, usually we think like either is it too hard, like to become a coach or to become a master trainer or to become a master in jiu-jitsu. For example, if I'm a jiu-jitsu player, we want to know the career, how it started, from where it started, the obstacles you faced. Like, we want brief. I know this is
Yeah.
gonna take, this question usually for someone like you, Coach Sami, and I'm happy to be sitting here talking to you. It's gonna take like minimum, we need 2 episodes, I know, minimum. But I want to know let's say a very important points or obstacles or things.
First of all, I never thought I was going to be a coach.
Okay.
Okay, and I have black belt in many martial arts, not only jiu-jitsu. And all my coaches used to say, "You're going to be a good coach." And I was a very successful businessman in the restaurant business, and I never thought in my life that I'm going to exchange that for being a coach.
Okay.
Never in my life. They would say that to me, I would laugh. Say, "Hey, okay, coach, okay, coach."
So you used to play for yourself?
Just for myself.
Okay.
But because I was a very good businessman and I had good money,
Yeah.
I had the best coaches in the world.
Okay.
You know
That
what I mean?
helps.
Yeah, so I could be one-on-one with the best coaches that I could get in the area that I was.
Okay.
And by luck and by God's will, they were amazing coaches.
Okay.
But me being a coach, I never thought in my life that I was going to be a coach. And then in my school, when somebody comes new, the coaches say, "Sammy, go and teach them."
Okay.
You know, and then I come to them and said, "I can't teach all the time, you know." He goes, "Hey, but you're the best coach." I said, time passed,
Yeah.
and the reason why I'm in Jordan is my father bought a company in Jordan and was bankrupt.
Yeah.
And I came here to help him.
Okay.
And after that problems got solved, I realized that I cannot work for anybody. I don't want to work with my dad.
Yeah.
So I'm going to start doing what I love, which is jiu-jitsu. So that's going to be part of my life and being a coach.
Okay.
And this is how I started to be a coach.
Interesting.
Yes. Now, I'm going to say it from the point of view of Jordan because this is very important. So I came from a different dimension. I came with a martial arts that's jiu-jitsu that nobody knows about, and it's not part of the tradition of the country. Our tradition is taekwondo
Yeah.
and karate
Exactly.
and some judo.
Yeah.
Who is this guy that's claiming that he's a master, he's coming with jiu-jitsu? So I had to educate the people. So it's before coaching. Before coaching, you have to educate.
Exactly.
So how do you educate people
Yeah.
on different martial arts, except for fighting?
So let's try.
So these big guys used to come they used to say في هذا الشاب صغير اختيار صغير بيحكي انه مكسر الدنيا. Let's go check on him. So all these giant guys used to come, and I'm turning them upside down, flipping them, choking, breaking, and they couldn't believe it. And this is how I started gathering students.
Okay.
So sometimes in any type of coaching, you have to give a little bit, and you have to be an example.
Exactly.
You can't be an unfit coach.
Yeah.
You gotta, we always say in martial arts, you live by the sword, you die by the sword.
Okay.
Which means you live as a coach, you 100% of everything that you do is about coaching. You have to be healthy, you have to eat healthy, you have to sleep early, you have to educate yourself, you have to refresh your brain all the time, to be a good coach. So that was the first experience of me being a coach in Jordan.
I like how usually, especially if you are an active player, and you used to be, still you're playing, right?
I still compete.
Yeah. Oh, mashallah. Mashallah. Yeah. But usually, I like the part of the story that your coaches knows that Coach Sami will be a coach one day, and he will be amazing coach.
Yes.
So this is like a message for the coaches. Listen, pay attention to your students.
Yes.
Right?
My coaches, the questions that my coaches know that I know that they're good.
Yeah.
I hear the question. Actually I don't tell them. But coaching is one thing. Creating coaches is a different story.
I know.
So like we're inside the coaching of the coaching.
Yeah.
So the coaching of the coaching has to be something. People have to be willing.
Yeah, exactly. I know this. Yeah.
It's like you want to be a good coach, you have to be willing to learn, sacrifice, and find a way to become the best coach you can be. You just want to go there and coach to make some money. You're never going to be a good coach.
No. You have to have the will from inside you. You
have to have the will, man. Yes, I call it the burning desire.
Yeah.
There has to be something inside of you burning so strong that it's going to go against you being lazy, against you not wanting to do, against you not being healthy. No, I want to be a good coach. So that has something burning from inside to the outside.
I like these things usually about coaches, that this inner motivation, that's, to be honest, to spread a new sports, as you said, as you mentioned before. Like Jordan, the traditional sport in martial arts, it's taekwondo, karate, judo, boxing, etc. So it's need this energy to spread jiu-jitsu all over the country.
Yes.
So we appreciated your work on my behalf. I appreciated your work, and I think many of the coaches appreciated Coach Sami Jamal that he spread this nice martial art. I love it, by the way. I never did any move, but I love martial art in general, especially jiu-jitsu. Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
And it's not work, it's a mission. It's a mission.
Yeah.
My mission for Jordan is for us to be on the podium with the best people in the world and show the world that as Jordanians from this area, we can be the best we can and take that thing that the coaches from outside are better than us. The players from outside are better than us. Everything that's outside is better than us. The grass is greener on the other side because we can't. And my mission is to show the world that Jordan can.
Okay. I want to know, while you want to do this, that Jordan can and the athletes can, I'm sure there is some challenges that you face. And what are the main challenges that you face in developing jiu-jitsu in Jordan? The parents, the market.
The first one that we said was the problem with the knowledge.
Yeah.
You had to educate people. Educating people took a minimum of 5 years for people to understand. Then for it to become mainstream, it took 10 years. Okay, Jiu-Jitsu is something that I take my kid and I'm proud of it, and I understand the benefits from it. Can be in any sport, and I understand the benefits from it, and it's now cool to take your kids to Jiu-Jitsu. When a kid that does Jiu-Jitsu, everybody respects him in school, you know, and he it's a way of life for him. So educating was very difficult. The second part, it's an expensive sport.
Yeah.
You go to Taekwondo schools here in Amman, on the small towns, 15 JDs with the bus for the whole month. And the gi costs 15 JDs.
Yeah.
Jiu-Jitsu is much more expensive than that, and it's for a reason.
Yeah.
You know, so it was an expensive sport, so people would compare and not understand. Then you have the mental mindset of the people here that bigger is better and heavier is stronger.
Okay.
So people always thought that if you're big and strong, you don't need to do martial arts, or you don't have to do, and I can hurt or beat anybody. And I had to prove that through Jiu-Jitsu that is not the case. And then the part that was, this is the crucial part, which is part of, unfortunately, our society, and unfortunately from the region, the case of loyalty. The case of loyalty was something that it was really hard. For example, in Brazil or in Japan or any traditional martial arts, it's an honor for you to be under somebody.
Under somebody.
It's my honor. I still carry the name of my coach's school. Here in Jordan. Although my name is much more visible, but I carry his name in all my gis, all my competitions, all my clothing, all the things in the gym. I carry his name. Here, I am kind of like, why should I be under him? We're equals. So people don't understand the hierarchy creates strength.
Exactly.
It's not about you being under, you're less than the other person. No, you're under him. He took you on his wings. He wants you to be better than him. I want my students to be better than him. I want my coaches to be better than me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it.
Although they're under me.
Yeah.
I want the day that I'm going to be happier is when my coach's business is bigger than mine.
So at that point, you know that your teaching and your time that you spend it with this student, it pays off now.
Not financially.
No, not financially. I mean, like with the reputation, with the success, with.
Let's go back to the coaching part. So, what is coaching? You're teaching somebody to do something. If that person is actually doing the same as you're doing or better than you, that means that you've succeeded completely as a coach.
Exactly.
So if you succeeded completely as a coach, that is the biggest prize you can get for coaching.
Exactly.
People here think the opposite. You know, it's like, okay, he's going to be a competitor to me. He's going to take my students. They're going to talk about it. So, fortunately, that's changing. You know, but it changes with a lot of trial and error and problems, but it's changing for the better.
Yeah, so there's some challenges that we face here in Jordan, like as you mentioned. And this is take me to the other part, that those athletes that you are training now, they will become your, as you said now, either colleagues or they will opening their classes somewhere in Amman, and you will be happy if you see them succeeding in their life. So what's the strategy that to motivate them inside the mat before they becoming a coaches? We took it like you know.
What's the strategy?
Motivating athletes, especially youth. how we motivate this age group as a coach Sami الجمل? What's your strategies?
So I always say that the best teacher in the world, is YouTube and AI.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
basically, if you want to learn a move or learn a technique,
Yeah.
the best teacher in the world is YouTube. You're gonna go there, play, pause, save. You can do that many
Okay.
times. Whereas if you go, if you're in a coaching situation, you're gonna hear that person one time and you have to memorize. صح? And then if I tell something to one of my students or I'm teaching them how to coach, they're gonna listen to it one time and he has to memorize. What's the capacity that he has to memorize all the teachings I give him in 10 years? Maybe 20%, 30%?
30%, let's say.
Maximum. YouTube, he has that library for his whole life. So coaching and motivating people is not about only knowledge.
Okay.
Knowledge is just a small part of it, because knowledge, you can get it anywhere in the world. It's available to you everywhere.
Yeah.
Okay? But motivating that person in a personal level, that's what coaching is. And this is how you turn good coaches into excellent coaches.
Okay.
Okay? And how do you do that? Because it's very easy to say, sister. How do you do that? So I have a very three small principles that are very important. First one, give love.
Okay.
Once you give love, you create a bond of trust.
I like it. Yeah.
So
love, it makes you and your student, like, you trust each other.
Yeah, so love is something that you give without expecting anything back.
Yeah, exactly.
So when the person sees that, okay, they're going to start trusting you.
Exactly.
When they start trusting you, anything is possible.
Yeah.
صح?
Yeah, صح طبعا.
So love, trust, and then the third and most important, no matter how young, how old, how bad, how difficult, respect.
Okay.
Because then, like this, you close the whole circle of love, trust, and respect. If you have, now I'm going to ask you this question, I'm going to turn around. If you have one person in the world that you know that you can rely on, that person gives you love, trust, and respect other than your parents, wouldn't you stick to that person?
Of course, I will be his shadow.
Exactly. That's the biggest motivation ever.
Yeah.
So like all my coaches have been with me since they were 8 years old, 9 years old. Now they're married with kids, college. They've been with me for more than 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
So why? Because they know they can come back to that love, trust, and respect all the time, unconditionally. I might tell the person, you're wrong.
Yeah.
You're wrong, man. What you did is wrong. What you did, you should not do it. But I'll never let go of the love, trust, and respect.
That's why actually one day, if you remember, me and you, we had a call like 2 years back.
Yes.
And you sent me one of your coaches.
Yes.
I remember. So after, first time I met him, I wanted to say this. For the coaches to know that when you blend this, what's going to happen? I remember he spent half of the meeting with him talking about Coach Sami. Then I was like, listen man, you are too loyal. I love it. And he was like, Coach Sami, he gave me like a lot of time and respect, and he teach me something that now I earn my food from. So I was like, okay. And he was like, he worth respecting and he worth talking about him. I was like, okay, I'm sure one day I will meet him. And this is first time we meet, so I'm so happy, you know. I find this now, then I had the secret now, so I know.
You heard the story from another source.
Yeah.
And now you hear it here.
Yeah, I hear it here, and I know the secret behind it. Like, and I love it. Like, I took my note.
Yes.
Like, give love for yourself and for others.
Yeah.
Trust yourself, your abilities, and others. Respect yourself and others. Will solve everything.
It will line everything else.
Yeah.
Everything else can go wrong.
Yeah.
But these three probably will fix everything else. You know what I mean?
It. Yeah.
And on that sense, giving without expecting anything. It took me a long time as a coach, and this is a very important thing for the people that are listening.
Yeah.
As a coach, I thought I had something special, that I'm giving you more than what your money is worth.
Okay.
So you're paying me 10,
Yeah.
but I'm giving you medical, psychological, friend, love, I want something back.
Yeah.
And that was the wrong formula.
Yeah.
If you do all this and you give it without wanting anything back in return, the universe and God will give you 10-fold back.
Okay. So
It's almost a formula of math.
yeah.
And I tested it and it works.
Yeah.
My manager calls me every day, coach, عملت بركة عملت إيش اليوم؟ said له no ليش؟ no يعني زي دايما. Like always. He goes, so much money entered today. It has to be something, because he knows my formula.
Yeah. Actually, I liked it.
Yeah, if you give, as a coach, man, give without expecting anything back. And if you feel like people are using you and sucking you dry, they're naturally going to leave your life.
Yeah. I like actually Coach Sami. I wanted to say this. All the people that we have met till now in the Mudrib podcast and the coaches, they all have the same principle that, listen, our career and our job, it has like a bit of humanity more than the rest, because there is something you give. Don't look at the end result, which is, they call it end result, the money.
Yes.
But you have to give, because this is like changing people's life.
Yes.
Whether either, we call it like with the fitness coaches, either a PT or people they want to lose weight. And when you go to martial art, even it's bigger and bigger. So you have to give with your heart.
Much more than what people pay.
Yeah.
Cannot measure it.
Measure it with money.
No.
So what's after all these stories and long experience, Coach Sami, what are the key factors that make Jiu-Jitsu training program successful and effective? After I blended the love, the trust, the respect as a coach, and what's make the training program successful and effective?
I always like to give this example. Jiu-Jitsu is a weapon.
Yeah.
All martial arts are weapons. Jiu-Jitsu is a special weapon. It has been proven day in and day out through hundreds of years how to be successful. Okay. So the samurai without a sword used to train Jiu-Jitsu. The ninjas used to train Jiu-Jitsu. That's for ninjutsu. Judo comes from Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah.
Karate is some part of Jiu-Jitsu. So it was the most effective and dangerous martial arts. And not only that, when Japan was in war and conquered, Jiu-Jitsu was forbidden to be taught 2 times. Once, when the foreigners came, because it was a weapon, they closed all the Jiu-Jitsu schools. Okay. And the Japanese, as a pride in something that is from their culture, they don't want anybody to know, they forbid also to teach Jiu-Jitsu. And Jiu-Jitsu almost died. And it was reborn again in Brazil. Right. So it is a weapon that's very dangerous. Yeah. So when you teach Jiu-Jitsu, it's like when you're in the circus and you're alone and you enter the cage and there's 30 lions. Okay. Now the lion's nature is to eat you. Yeah. You just stay there controlling them, although they're weapons of killing machine. Yeah. You have to know how to control them properly. Jiu-Jitsu is the same way. A school of Jiu-Jitsu is the same way. You're giving people the knowledge of to carry a weapon. Yeah. So you have to know how to balance everything. And you balance everything by having values. Okay. So we, in our school, we follow the values of Bushido, which is the way of the warrior.
Bushido.
Bushido.
Yeah.
And I added 2 more.
Okay.
So we have 10 values. So any school, any coaching, I think this works for anything, anywhere in the world. Anywhere that you want to work, any business environment, you have to follow the core values.
Exactly.
And once you follow the core values that you gave to yourself, you have a guideline.
Yeah.
And that guideline brings organization, brings discipline,
Yeah.
and discipline and organization brings success.
Yeah. Because there's value that you wake up for. So you want
the
to
value,
do,
because you're following the values.
Yeah, yeah.
You're following the value of discipline, for example.
Exactly.
So I have to be disciplined. So the kids, they have to come to the school. So how do I make them come to the school? They get stripes for every 8 classes they get. And the stripes changes their belts. The process is very long, but they stay disciplined for years. And it's very difficult for you to keep a kid disciplined and happy for years. How do you do that? How they don't burn out?
Yeah.
Because you follow the values again. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You incite in them loyalty, and you add into them courage, which is one of our values, and honor, and respect. So when you all these are embedded in them every day, in and out, it becomes a habit. And that's the secret of success: creating habits out of the actions of your students.
I like how now I understand why they call it martial art. It's art of either competing on the mat, controlling the weapons that you have, or controlling others, and to have values. And this is like a kind of blended. You blend it together. It's make you like a piece of art, like a good human, a strong one, successful, controlling yourself, your emotions, others.
Yes.
I loved it.
It's very spiritual also, because you're getting to know yourself from the inside to the outside, because you're challenging your body every day and your mind.
I like it. I love every second I spend here. I want the time not to finish, I want to ask more and more.
We're here.
We're here. I want to know, as we said, till now we are talking about the coach himself, and you think what's the role of a coach empowering youth in martial arts and enhancing their performance and self-confidence? We said now the rule is like respect. And you told me before we start recording that you started with the new thing for your... So I would love to hear about it.
And every age is different.
Yeah.
So from the 3.5 years old to 5, I'm going to give you a brief example.
Please.
3.5 years old to 5, like for example in our school, the coaching is basically for them to learn how to walk again. Okay. We learn how to use their body again. Because we, as babies, we get up, try to walk, we fall, that's it. Okay. When you put somebody on their back or moving into a 3-dimensional way, which is martial arts, especially jiu-jitsu, you have to relearn how to do these things so they don't get hurt. So they go to the next step.
Okay.
The next step, they start fighting and controlling and using their body, and we start pushing their muscles a little bit more. So it's a long process. But then you get to the teenagers. Now the teenagers is a crucial, very delicate moment in the life of a kid, because he's going to become a man. He doesn't know. And if you deal with a teenager like this, you can have a lot of success. So the teenage doesn't know. He doesn't know what he doesn't know, and he thinks he knows everything.
Exactly.
How are you going to teach somebody like this?
So hard.
He knows everything. And then he doesn't know anything. So once you understand that, and you go back to the love, respect, and trust, you create a bond. You have to kind of create a community for teenagers, for them to feel accepted. Because even in our society, because of the way the geography of our country, you don't have streets to walk, you don't have a beach to go to, you don't have huge parks. The kid is trapped inside the house. So when you look at 15, 16 years old, 16 years of his life jailed in an apartment.
Oh,
What's going to come out of it?
frustrated little man that doesn't know he doesn't know.
Who burned out.
Burned out, yeah.
And he thinks that he knows, but he doesn't know. And then he escapes into electronics.
Exactly.
And iPad and computer and video games, because that's escape.
Yeah.
We cannot, they're trying to escape. They're trying to find a different world because they're not happy with that world.
Yeah.
So if you can find a way, as any coach in any sport, for that kid to find a life that he belongs to,
Yeah.
if you're teaching them chess,
Yeah.
if you're
Yeah,
teaching
exactly.
them badminton, if you're teaching them volleyball, if you're teaching them swimming or jiu-jitsu,
Yeah.
they're going to be engaged.
Yeah. I like Coach Sami how you take us deep and behind what's the problem, and behind it, like people, they see the problem here, and behind it there's another one,
Yes.
and you need to uncover it. And they like it's not only about jiu-jitsu, as you said, it's about any other activities that the youth or the kids they have to do.
Yes.
It has to have this depth with thinking to
Yes.
change their lives.
Yes.
So anyone who hears us as a coach is not only for jiu-jitsu coaches. I love that.
It's,
The experience tells everything here, you know?
yeah,
Yeah.
It's very important as a coach,
As a coach.
as an instructor.
Yeah.
It's very important for you to know the source of the problem,
Yeah.
so you can fix it.
Yeah.
You can't as a coach go there and do templates.
Yeah.
I'm going to do this template.
No.
As a personal trainer, I'm going to give this squat,
Yeah.
but this person has a problem with their legs or
Yeah.
their knee. So you have to adapt to the situation, keeping your values.
Okay. There's an advice you want to give to the especially martial art coaches
The martial arts coaches.
or jiu-jitsu coaches. We want an advice for them that, listen, especially the new coaches, I say. Not an old coaches, leave them. We want the new coaches that they are excited, they want to train, they want to make impact for the kids. We want an advice.
First and most important advice. We gave a lot of advice.
Yeah, of course. No. I wanted like a
But
specific.
for a new coach, okay,
Yeah.
He has to earn his space in the hierarchy of coaching to start acting like a coach.
Okay. I
You know?
Directed. Your advice is very directed. I love it.
It's very directed because I see it. The
Yeah.
person, okay, coach, research, yes, I'm a coach. So they start, what's bothering them from inside starts coming out.
Yeah.
Whereas what you have to do is you have to suppress your problems and be an example and be somebody that the person that's being coached looks up to you.
Yeah.
Also, that I say that to I want little teams inside the coaching, because I have like in my gym I have like 14 coaches. So I want if 10 people are loyal to each one of you guys, that's 140 students that are loyal to but you have to make that happen.
Yeah. Earn it.
Yeah, I want the day that I'm gonna be happy. I always say that to them. The day that I'm gonna be happy with my presence inside the gym, the kid comes and hugs you first, not me.
Okay.
And then he comes and hugs me. It's like, and I want to see in his eye that he's happy looking at you and hugging you. And everybody works with that, and everybody has that. It's hard.
Yeah, of course.
3, 4, 5, 10. Now they're starting to understand, but it creates a very solid base.
I love it. Like now we talked about the relationship between the coach or the new coach and the students, and we want also an advice for the coach with his relationship with the parents.
Oh, good one.
Yeah.
Good one. Good one. So the first thing I tell the parents, they with me, Diamond, it's a very hard world for them.
Yeah.
Hard world for them because I lead by example. I live by the life of a martial arts. I can say whatever I want.
Yeah.
And I have the experience.
Yeah.
So, and people know that it's not commercial. So I can say whatever I want.
Yeah, of course.
You
It's
know what
not
I mean?
commercial, yeah.
Yeah. You pay, but you know it's not commercial. Because the value that you're getting is something that's so unique
Yeah.
that is so unique that will change the lives of the people that are around you. And we've done that on social projects. If we have time, I'll explain that. We have 9 social projects.
Okay.
Yeah. In Jordan.
Okay.
In Jordan. And
Belong to Mat 05.
but belongs to me.
To Coach Sami Jamal.
Me and Mat 05.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Yes. So we tried that in the social project. So I tell the parents, first thing
Yeah.
and most important thing, there is educating in the school system,
Yeah.
and there is parenting at home.
Okay.
And in between, there is a huge gap
Yeah.
that I'm willing to fulfill for you.
Okay. Between parenting and education, like
Yes.
between home and school.
Yes.
Okay.
So that gap,
Yeah.
that gap is what's going to create the character of your kid. Your parenting, he's going to absorb by osmosis.
Yeah.
The school, he's going to absorb in his brain. But
Yeah.
what's going to create and define who your kid is his performance here.
Yeah.
Because we fill up that gap.
I love it. So we have to.
So you don't
Yeah.
interfere. I told him.
Yeah.
I tell you don't interfere. You don't tell me what to do. You don't. You ask for my advice.
Yeah.
You come to me as a partner
Yeah.
in my system, because I have systems
Yeah.
for kids that have problems. I have trouble kids, kids that don't engage. Each one has a system.
Yeah.
So you're my partner in that. Not the way the other. I don't work for you. You're not paying for a service. If you're paying, I always tell them this: if you're paying for a service, go look for another gym.
Okay.
This is not the gym for you.
Okay. So
If you want to pay for a service and call, yeah, it's fine. If you want to trust me, because I have a lot of kids to take care of personally, and you understand the value that you're getting, you work with me as a partner.
you work with me. So
With
so
me.
the coaches, they have to understand that you work with the parents, not for the parents. So if you work with them,
Yes.
it will become like you have a one project that both you need to focus on, which is the kid.
The kid,
I like it.
the gap,
The gap.
the gap.
The gap, yeah.
The gap is there for everybody.
Yeah. Coach Sami, I love talking to you, and this is like, I'm sure if we look at the time that, and I think we are here just since,
Yes.
as time is passing. And for us to make it like more directed, that usually we end with one question. Like as a Coach Sami, we want like the most, or are the 3 we want to know, in your opinion, what are the 3 most important qualities that a coach must have or possess? And on the other hand, we want to know what are the 3 qualities that should absolutely not be present in a coach. We want only 3 by 3. If you have 3, you are a good coach. If you have those, don't come to work as a coach unless you change these.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go back and forth, okay?
Yeah.
So the first one and most important is to be humble.
Humble.
Why humble? Because when people believe that you as a leader and as a coach, you're untouchable. It's just the other way around. You're the most vulnerable person in the whole gym. All the problems, all the headaches, all the frustrations, and how to manage all this and still get good results, because it's the sole responsibility and the mechanism of fixing of the coach.
Okay.
So you're going to get so many times in very difficult situations, in and out, that you have to be very humble to accept it and use it as a lesson to grow.
Okay. I like it. What else? We want to know. Like
That,
that.
so it
So
goes
humble,
both ways.
yeah.
So
Humble.
So you have to be humble.
Yeah.
So you cannot be conceited
Okay.
or think too much of yourself.
Okay. So
It's exactly the
yeah.
opposite of being conceited and thinking too much of yourself. Yani like you're thinking that you reached, but you have reached nothing.
Nothing. Yeah.
Like when I tell all my students,
Yeah.
a black belt, in Jiu-Jitsu is different than other sports. It takes
Yeah.
you 10 years to get the black belt. So when they get the black belt, I said, now you're starting.
After 10 years.
Yeah, after 10 years. The kids more. The kids go through all the kids' belt and the adults' belt.
Yeah.
After 10 years, okay, now you start. And then they
Yeah.
tell me after 2 years, now I understood, coach.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Now, I said, now you're going to start learning.
Yeah. So if you are humble, you are welcome with us as a coach. If you are conceited, please.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go
what
do
else?
something else.
Yeah.
Yes.
We want another 2.
Yes. So the second part, which keeps you very safe, very, very safe, is respect.
Okay.
No matter what. Let's say you're a bad coach, you're starting. You are horrible. You're giving wrong. If you have respect to that person, you can fix everything.
Yeah.
You can fix the person having to go to physiotherapy because you give him a wrong move. You know what I mean? If you have respect, that works well. So disrespectful is something that you're going to push everybody away from you.
Yeah. Usually, I wanted to say this, usually to the coaches, I used to say, don't love your client or your member, respect them. It's better. It's going to take you even further with the results and relationship than loving them.
That's a very good quote. That's a very good quote.
And what's the last one? We want to end with the third, the qualities that we want to see it in the coaches.
Now this works for everything, for the money part, for your life, for you to stay long as a coach, because it burns out. Coaches burn out. So like before I say the last one, coaches burn out a lot because they're 8 hours a day just giving.
Yeah.
So every coach in the world has to find a way of taking.
Okay.
So even me, like for example, I go every morning to a PT that gives me personal training, strength and conditioning, just so I can take a little bit, because the rest of the day I'm giving. So finding balance.
Okay.
So balance is the most important of all of them. And I'll close it with a Mr. Miyagi.
Yeah, please.
Mr. Miyagi from Karate Kid. I'll close it with Mr. Miyagi, Karate Kid. If you work too much, you cannot find happiness.
Yeah.
And if you're only looking for happiness, you cannot work.
Yeah.
So you have to find balance. You know.
I like
Daniel-san, you know, like, work too much, no happiness.
No happy,
Too much happiness, no work.
No work.
Find balance. So find balance in everything.
Coach Sami, I'm so happy to have you here. And we are so happy, not just only me. I'm sure like the coaches, the new coaches, the students of sports or martial arts, they will be happy with this. A lot of information that I'm sure, like as we say, like you find knowledge in books, but you find experience in people, and those will make your journey even. I don't say faster. I say it's easier to achieve certain results through experience. Thank you again. It's our pleasure meeting you.
Thank you. It's my pleasure. I respect so much what you guys are doing, and anything that you guys are willing to do for Jordan, we're hands to hands.
Of course, we're gonna do a lot of things. So they have to wait for our new workshops or anything that we wanted to do, like for the industry.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.